I think the thing that I would look for as an architect who reviews a lot of our interior drawings, I do some of our architectural reviews, it's that line where you can draw a division. And where does the liability stop? And how can that be a clear line so that you're defensible, we're defensible, client's defensible, engineers are defensible. When it gets really blurred, then everyone gets thrown into the pot, and that where it can be difficult. I recently sat for my state of Maryland licensing, and I did see the writing about how I interpret it as a definition between building systems. If you're not affecting building systems, then interior design may have the full gamut. And I think Virginia is similar, because they actually made me read an ethics about how you do that. So I think the ability to differentiate the services that interior designers want to be registered for and signed for, I think would help in the legislation. I don't know that the larger firms are going to be overly affected. I can see smaller firms wanting to fight that. I think if there's a control and there's a regulation, I think there's a way to exist so that the definitions of liability can be defined.
But let me jump in on that. I know you said for the bigger firms you don't think it would change much, but you could see a future where that type of practice act would allow interior designers within a bigger firm to have responsibility to a set of drawings also and be able to put their signature on a set of drawings for what we build, which is for the human experience, which has public safety and health credibility to it. I mean, we put the flooring in, we sometimes spec the building systems, we get involved in all of that. So it would kind of allow big firms to say, we need registered interior designers, because big firms to this day could have a non-registered interior designer work on a project, spec everything just out of school, and the architect's just going to sign and seal it. It happens.
Yeah.
So let's not say it doesn't happen. So I think it could affect bigger firms also.
Yeah, I think I was speaking more from the financial side.
Yes, absolutely.
The potential or the thought that licensed registered interior designer is going to pull work away from an architectural firm. I think is where the big horse might jump into that. I can speak personally from reviewing drawings that those young students, interior design students that come from programs that have a strong education, their drawings and their understanding are much better than those that come from lesser programs. So I certainly encourage that. And I think I tend to agree with you that we see both.
Typically they will go get their licensing and right away. And yes.
And I think, to Scott's point, I think that's a good point. And in large firms, usually there's a principal, there's usually one or two people who are approved to seal drawings regardless. So even whether or not you're sealing drawings in a large firm, just to be licensed, you would think it's a good marketing tool. For a firm, it legitimizes your staff. You would think it would legitimize the fees, being paid higher fees and them getting more revenue. So I feel like for big firms, regardless of who is doing the stamping, it's a win-win. Some large firms have incredible resources, and so I can understand how they would feel threatened that, oh, someone else is trying to do what I'm trying to do. So I think it's important that we be sensitive to that and have dialogues with people who might have that position so that we can kind of move forward and find a happy medium where we can move forward with our legislation and they don't feel threatened by what we're trying to accomplish.
And it does set our workforce apart. When we go on proposals and our writer proposals, we want to show the best, most educated, most accomplished employees to our client. That's a differentiator.